added? Huh? Nested list, which list? Which list? I'm saying there's a one, L1 is there, L2 is there. L1, this will be added, L1 over here, it will be added. Mango. Good. Now, if you are printing it again, you will get 100, 200, apple, orange, mango, and 300, right? Now, if you print this one, what you are going to get it? 100, 200, apple, orange, mango will be printed. Here, mango will be added, guys. Mango will be added and 300 and 400 will be printed. Now, that is the drawback of the shallow copy. That is the drawback of the shallow copy. Even though we are not appending it over here in the nested part, only nested part it will happen. Even though we are not appending in the nested part of the L2, automatically because L1 is added, so this one is coming up. Why this is happening? The question is why this is happening. Okay, we can rectify this one by using the deep copy. But what is the nature? Why it is happening? Huh? Detlo, aim address. It's not like that. This is a nature what is happens, guys. See, whenever you are doing with a nested part, this is a bit complicated, it looks like, but you see, this is our 100, 200, and we are having something like apple, right? Here we are having apple and orange. Now, and we have 300, right? This is what it is there. Actually, this one will not be here. Its location will not be over here. This location will be somewhere over here. Orange. Okay, orange and apple will be somewhere over here. Then what it will be here? This address will be over here. Now you will be having an address over here. That address may be like, if this is having an address, some address is there over here, like take it as 112233 is there. This address will be mentioned over here at the place of this. This actually nested list will be stored somewhere else. This address will be placed over here. Now, when the shallow copy, you do the shallow copy, what will happen? What is the nature of the shallow copy? It will make a copy of the existing value. What is the existing value? 100, 200, 300 and address. And when it make a copy, it will make it 100, 200 and 300 and it will make the copy of the address also. Where this address is pointing? Now, if you are doing L1 of, what is this location, guys? 2, right? L1 of 2 dot append means it is going to the address location where these values are stored, where it is here. And if I am appending mango, this mango is appended over here. Okay. Mango will be appended over here. As this one is also pointing to the same memory location, so this nested part will be reflecting the mango. Got it? Actually, nested part will not be physically existing at that location. That is a problem. It will not be existing over there. Only the address will be existing. To avoid that, this kind of thing, we are going to use the deep copy. We are going to use the deep copy. This is under the, we have to import the copy. I'm going to show you. You have to import the copy and you will be doing. This is the difference between 3 different copies. One is a reference copy, is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous it is. The second one is shallow copy. That is good enough if you are not dealing with any of the nested part. The deep copy is the safest one to use it. Okay. Now, if you know the difference, you can, while doing it, you will go with the deep copy only. You will never want to go with the ordinary copy at all. because when you know the difference. But when, unfortunately, if you don't know the difference, then you will be doing unnecessarily, you are replicating the changes in the multiple places. That is a problem over here. Now let's do this one. Now I will copy the same. Clear, guys? Any questions? Now, this is a list I'm having. Okay, this is a list. I will remove some values from this list. Let's make it a symbol. Now, I will say that list one is my list. Now I want to do the reference copy. First, I will print the list one. Okay, and I will do the reference copy over here. That is, list 2 is equals to list 1. So what is happening over here? The address is changed from list 1. The address is passed on to list 2. Now, if you print list 2 over here, now I will write it down over here, list 1, then it is much easy. List 1 values. Okay. Now here, list 2 values, I will write it. Now these values and these values will be same, and address will also be same. You see this? Values are same, no doubt. The list values, list 2 values are same. But let's see the address is changed same or not. Print ID of list 1, and here ID of list 2. Huh? Same. Both will be same because this is a reference copy. This is a reference copy. Now, this is what is happens. Now, if I change it anything, list2.append, I will give it as India. India is already there. USA. Now, where this USA will be appended? In the list 2, last it should append according to us. But both are pointing out to the same memory location. You will see the changes in the both the list. List 1 and list 2, you will be seeing the changes. I'm putting down over here down. And this one also I'm putting down over here. Got it, guys? Now you see it. The output, USA and USA. I did it in only list 2. But both it is reflecting. Why? Both are pointing out to the same memory location. So the rectification for this one is, says the solution for this one is shallow copy. Now, shallow copy, you can do it in multiple ways. I will tell you. Okay. Clear, guys? Finished? Okay. Now let's deal with the shallow copy, guys. Now this is a reference copy, right? I'm just commenting the reference copy over here. Let's do with the shallow copy. Now, shallow copy will be, now shallow copy can be done by dot copy. List2, I will give it as list2 dot list2 is equals to list1 dot copy. This is the shallow copy. Okay, this is a shallow copy. This is method 1, I will say that. And let me print this one. We have the details over here instead of doing it. Now I will do it everything. I will copy this. Okay, now what I'm doing, this is the list, guys. This list, I'm printing the value, I'm printing the address. Then what I'm doing this one, this is a shallow copy I'm doing. And what I want to do it, I printed this one after doing the copy and I printed the address over here. Let's comment this one and let's see that whether they are pointing to the same memory location or different memory location. Usually what happens? Different memory location it should be pointing to. Now you see this. This is pointing to different one. This is pointing to different one. So they are occupying at two different memories. Okay. Now, if I do the changes in this, this will be affected only. This not be affected at all. Okay. Now let me do the change. We already did the change of adding USA. I'm just commenting it. List2 dot append will add a value into the list2. And here I'm printing the list1 and list2 both. So the changes will be applicable in list 2 only, not in the list 1. Right, remember this. Okay, when I do this, okay, clear guys? This is applicable only to this one. Remember. Now there is one more way is also there to do the shallow copy. I'm commenting this one. Okay, that is method 2. I will write it as method 2. First, you have to import the copy. Import copy. Now, usually never do it over here. You have to do it at the top. The starting, you have to do all the import copy. Okay, import copy. And then you see this list 2 is equals to copy.copy of list 1. Copy.copy of list 1. Now, this is again a second method of shallow copy. Second way of doing the shallow copy. Copy.copy of list 1. Okay, let's see the list results, whether it's really. First, we will be printing the first list, its address, and then second list, its address, and we are going to do the necessary changes in the second list, and we will see that that is not applicable in the both. When they are storing in a different memory location and the changes are not applicable, then only it is called as shallow copy. See this, guys? This is at a different memory location. This is at different memory location, right? And I'm changing, I'm adding USA in the list 2. That is not reflecting in the list 1. Got it? So is this a shallow copy? Yes, it is a shallow copy. Now the third way, I don't know whether it will work or not. Let me try it out. Method 3 of shallow copy. Let me do it. Now list 2 is equals to list of list 1. This is list. If I'm doing it this way, what is this? What type of copy is this? Reference copy, right? If I put this one in a list like this, maybe it should work. Now let's try it out. At least it's doing the copy. Yeah, it's working. This is a third way of doing the shallow. Guys, I've shown you 3 different methods of shallow copy. So just look into this. Clear? Now let's do that deep copy, guys. I'll copy everything from here. Let's move on to the next file. Now I'm having some values like this. This is there. Now inside this, I will keep a list over here. 100, 200 and 200. I will keep it inside this. There's a nested list is there. This is an outer list and this is a nested list. Okay. Now I'm giving it L1. Okay. I'm doing the address printing over here. Now I'm doing a shallow copy. I'm doing a simple shallow copy and I'm printing the next, the copied list, its address. Now just forget about this one as of now. Now we will see only this one. Now let me run it. Now you see they are located at a 2 different locations. Okay. Now this is a list of L1, list 1. These are the values of the list 2 which are copied by using a shallow copy. They are located at a different memory location. Can you see this? It is 3376 and 3696. Okay. Now let me add a value to the outer list. Outer list, I want to add the value to the list 2. I'm adding over here. Let's add Japan. Okay, I added Japan over here. So this is reflected in where? In the list 2. Now this will not be reflected in list 1, right? Now when you do this, you can see it over here. Japan will be there. Clear? Now let's add something inside the nested part. Inside the nested part. Now I'm just commenting this one. Now how to go to the nested part? Which index is referring to the nested part? List 2 of 2. List 2 of 2 will be referring to nested part. That is again a list. Now this list name is this one. You have to take it. Dot append. Can I do this? And can I add 300? Yes. Now where it will be added? Inside the nested part, last it will be added. Now I will print here. Both will be printed. Both will be printed. List 1 and list 2. Let's see that whether it is reflecting in both or not. According to us, it should reflect. Can you see it? Why they are reflecting? What's same memory ID? Both are different. Can you see this here? List 1 is 1296 and list 2 is 1616. Nested part is having the same memory location. How to find out the nested part memory location? Now, we said it means we have to prove it also, right? Tell me. List, print, ID of good, ID of list 2 or list 1, anything, list 1 of 2. Okay, the same thing I can do it with list. Let's see this. Got it, guys? So both are placed at a different memory location, not exactly in that physically it is not present. It is only the memory is present over there. The shallow copy is copying the value, while copying it's copying the memory also. Okay, but because both the memories are pointing out to one memory location, there the changes are happening. To avoid this situation, what we have to do? Deep copy. Deep copy. So how to implement the deep copy? Again, import copy. Copy.deep copy is the one we have to do it. This is a shallow copy, guys. I'm just commenting this. This will not work for us. So what we are going to do? We are going to do that deep copy. That is copy. Now I will write it as deep copy over here so that it is easy. Deep copy. Now first we have to import the copy. Copy list 2 is equals to copy dot deep copy of list 1. That's what you have to do it. Now let's do it. Yeah, Dev, that's correct. Okay, let me run it. And see the address also. They are located at a different location. Okay. So this is a way it will be working out for you. You have the time over here. Is anything is missing? List comprehension is a one, right? Left out. Is anything is missing? The list. The very option. Anyone? Haji. Let's move on to the comprehension, guys. Okay, this is very important. Okay, today we are going to try, it will not be completed, I'm sure that. We are going to give the basic understanding of the list comprehension, and tomorrow we are going to do that again. Okay, this is very important because if you understand now, my life will be very easy when I go to the machine learning. Otherwise, I'm kicked off completely. Now, let's go with the list comprehension. What is the purpose of the list comprehension is? Now, the major thing, what you have to understand, one thing, guys. List is what? List is what? Is a container. Okay, what is the purpose of the container? Store the values. Okay, you have to manually enter the values, or manually or some other way, whichever way you want to. You have to enter the values into the list, then only it will store. Otherwise, it will not store. Okay, now let's do it a small example over here, like list comp 1. I'm going to write it. Now here I'm creating a for loop to dump the value into the list. My purpose is to dump the value into the list. So please try to understand what is the purpose of the list comprehension is to create the list, not to print the values. Don't use the printing over there and do whatever you use it. What is for the purpose? I've seen so many people are doing that. So that is not the actual purpose of the list comprehension, to create a list in a most elegant way. We can create the list in an easy way. Now let me do it a list. I want to create a list. I'm creating a list. I'm creating first an empty list. First, I'm creating an empty because I want to hold the values. Means I should have a container first, empty container. So this is my empty container. Here for I in range of like 1 to like 20, I'm going to keep it. And all I'll be doing is I'll be doubling it up. Okay, let's do the doubling of this. That is how I will do the double. I into I, and I will print it, guys. Just I'm printing it. What is the output I'm going to get it? Okay. This is what the output I'm going to get it. Clear? Now, this one I don't want to display over here. I want to put it in the list. Okay. If you want to add any value into the list, one value into the list, how you will add it? Append. Now here, what is a value? I into I is a value for us. I into I is a value for us. Or let me do it in 2 steps so that you will get a clarity on this. Now I into I am storing in S. Can I store it in S? What will be the S consists of first? 1, then 4. Now let me print the S. We are getting the same output or not? Here it is. Okay, same. Now I want to put the S inside the list. Okay, S is a value. I'm putting inside the list. How I'll do it? List 1 dot append of S. Right? Now this one is not required for us. Okay, this one is not required. I don't want to print it. I want to directly put it in the list. Now once I do this, the list has been created. Now I want to print the list. After the while loop, I will print the list over here. List 1. That's it. Okay. You will be getting the value over here. Got it? All the values are in the list. Can you see it? Right? I'm creating a list now. I'm putting the values into the list and I'm creating the list. How many lines we did it? 5 lines. Right? 5 lines. The same thing I'm going to do it in using the list comprehension. Okay. Now let's see this. Now I'm going to explain you. Just see this first. Got it? Same output. Any difference? Is there any difference here? On the left side in the code? Is there any difference is there in the code? No? This code and this code, there is difference is there? What is the difference? What is the difference? Number of lines. Number of lines is the difference. And here it is only 1 line I'm doing it, or you can take it as 2 lines, whereas here we are doing it 5 lines. Now 5 lines, you are asking your interpreter to execute 5 lines. Definitely it is more when it compared to only 2 lines. Okay, only 2 lines. So this is called as a list comprehension. Now what is the advantage of this is a very easy way of doing it. First thing. Okay, it's a very easy way of creating a list. Second one is, it will occupy very less resource. Second one is it will occupy very less resource. Let me write down so that it will be there with you. First one is list comprehension. Now first is, it is an easy way of doing it. Way of creating a list. Or you can say that an easy way, guys. Easy way of creating a list. Easy way of creating. Okay. Now here, the coding, the using of the less resource. Okay. Now, third way is its execution is very fast. Okay. These are some of the major things. And again, never use the list comprehension for the complex logic. Complex logic. Now, if a very complex logic is there, it is strongly recommended not to use it. Okay, only for the simple one, it is specially asked to use it. First one is, it is an easy or the elegant way of creating a list, utilizing the less resource compared to that of traditional list creation. Third one is, it is very fast in execution. And I have to write one more over here, less lines of the code. Less lines of code and very fast in execution, and strongly recommended not to use list comprehension for complex logic. Okay. Now, usually we are not going to do any complex logic with the list. Only the list is specially used to store the data. Now, that storing of the data, we can do it very, very effectively. Okay, guys. Now, this is, now it's look like an extension of your if inline if. Okay. Now, how this will work? There will be three parts, guys. Okay, let's write down. Ashna, Imrash, Code Rashna, Raleigh. Attend అవుతున్నాం అదే సాయంత్రం బ్యాచ్ ఏడును data types. Okay, guys. Now try to understand this, how a list comprehension should define. Okay, there will be three parts in the list comprehension. Okay, there will be majorly three parts will be there. First one, this is the one. Okay, now this is called as this. I will write it as first part is input sequence. Input sequence. Now this I will highlight it, then it looks better. Okay, guys, this is the input sequence. And this input sequence, always it will be a for loop. Remember that. Always it will be a for loop. For loop. Okay. Now, then if I take it this one as left, okay, this one is the right. Okay. Now, don't get confused. This is the left side of this input sequence. This is the right side of the input sequence. Okay. Now, always see this. the output expression should be on the left side, extreme left side of your input sequence. Now the output expression should be over here. Now don't worry about, I will explain you what is the output expression. Output expression should be towards the extreme left side of the input sequence. Now this will be my output expression. Okay, output expression. Now, if there is any condition, that should be towards the right side of your input sequence. Now, output expression will be extreme left side and right side should be the condition. Right side should be the condition, guys. Condition over here. Now let's observe this, how it will be going on. And this all should be there inside a list, inside a square brackets. This all you have to put it inside the square brackets. Got it? Now the execution starts from here. This will be the first. Execution will be starts over here. Now, if condition is there, then this will be the second to execute. Okay, this one will be the second to execute. If the condition is not there, then directly this will come. Okay, if the condition is there, this will be the last one to execute. Remember this. This is the last one to execute. Input sequence is the first one. Always you have the for loop over here. If the condition is there, then condition will be the second one will be executed. If the condition is not there, then output expression will be executed. If the condition, multiple condition is there, whatever it may be, output expression will be the last one to execute. Remember that. This is the way it will go on from here to here, from here to here. Okay, this is the actual. Now what I did it now, just see this. Now you got it, the exact situation you got it. Now let me get this, whatever I did it over here. Now first I said it, we should have the square brackets, right? Let me put it on over here. Let me increase the font. Okay, now let me show you this one, guys. The square brackets is there. Yes, square brackets is there over here. Okay, and I said that the input sequence will be an for loop. So here it is the input sequence. Can you see this? There is an input sequence is there over here. For loop. Now just remove this part. I will remove it. Now this is the input sequence for I in range of, this is the input. Is there any condition? No condition for us. So directly output expression. Output expression where it should be? Extreme left. So what it should be? I into I. Can I do this? Now from here, what it will do? First it will take, now this will generate what values, guys? It will generate the values 1, 2, 3 till 19. So first I will have what? 1. Now there is no condition. Directly it will go to over here. What is there? I into I. That will 1. 1 will be dumped into this list. Into the list it will be dumped. So if you take it, I'm showing it outside. You will be having a list. This will be acting like this. 1 will be dumped into 1 into 1. 1 will be dumped. Next time it will go back. What will happen? I value 2. 2 will be coming over here. 2 into 2, 4. 4 will be dumped into this. Now then, this will become 3. 3 will be dumped into this. Sorry, 3 into 3, 9 will be dumped into this. Then 16. Like this, it will go on putting everything in the list. And this list, I am giving a name called as L1. That's what I did it over here. Can you see this? I did a name over here, L1 over here. Clear, guys? Now, this is the way the list comprehension works. Clear? Okay. Now, I want to add a condition. Now, what is the condition is, I want to get only the even numbers and I want to double it. I want to get only the even numbers and then I want to double it. Now, let me write the code this one. First, we will be having the square brackets. Yes. Let me make it a bit bigger. Good. Now, square brackets are there. This is mandatory. Start with this one. Then what we'll be having? Input sequence for loop. For I in or X, I will put it on. X in X in range of 1 to 10, I will take it. 1 to 10 or 1 to 11 means it will generate the values from 1 to 10. Clear? Now, this is the one. There are two parts will be there. Before if for condition and after. Now, before what should come down? Extreme left, output expression. If the condition should be, that should be on the right side. Here, what we are going to put it on? If I modulus, good. I modulus, X modulus. X modulus 2 is equals to 0. That's it. If this condition is true, then what happens? The X should be doubled up over here. That is the output expression. That is X into X. That's it. X into X. Now you can put it in the brackets also if you wanted to make it clear. Now see this. This is a simple thing we have done it. This is the input sequence. Here is the condition and this is the output. Now output expression will be directly dumped into the list, guys. Okay. Now this is the way it will be doing it. Now this will be your input sequence. This is our condition and this is the output expression. Once you know this, you can play with the list comprehension if you understand. First, this will be executed. If there is any condition, this will be executed. Then last, this will be executed. Okay. Now, this is only a if condition. If else means there will be again that will be coming in the middle over here. If else, the positions will be changed. We are going to look into that. Now, as of now, let me execute this and let's see this one. Will it work? Now, comp 2. Okay. I'll just after this I will stop the class because already like 11:20. Okay. Now let's do this one in a normal way. In a normal way we will do it. So first I will have an empty list. Normal way, guys. Just in a traditional normal way. Then for I in range of 1 to 11. Right? And here what you'll do? If I modulus 2 is equals to 0. Then what you are going to give it? List 1 dot, or you will say that R is equals to I into I. Okay. Then what you are going to do? List 1 dot append R. Now you can directly put this one also over here. Okay. Just as you are new, I am putting down. This one we can directly put down over here because ultimately R is getting the value from I into I. So you can put it I into I in the place of R. Now we have done it. Now what we will do? We will print it. We have to print it outside the for loop. So I will give it as list 1. Now let's see that whether we are going to get the output or not. 416 this. Clear? Now the same thing we are going to do it with the list comprehension. Now what is that? We are going to have the square brackets. Inside this, first we'll start with for loop for I in range of 1 to 11. This is the input sequence. Right side the input sequence should be condition. What will be the condition? If okay, then when this condition is true, then you should print the I into the list. Now, if you want to put it this one for your comfortness, you can do it. It's not mandatory. Now, there is an extra space is given by me. It is not also mandatory. Okay, just to make you understand, I'm writing it. This is an input sequence. This is an condition, and this is the output expression. Okay, now this one, I will put it in the list one. Okay, L1, and I'm going to print it. Print L1. Now let's see that whether we are getting the same condition or same output or not. Okay, guys, we got the same output. Clear? Great. Now you can try it out some of the examples on this and do it. Whatever the one you want to do it. You can put it on the even numbers. You can find it out the even numbers and try to print the table also. We can print the table also using this. So do this. Get the even numbers, get the odd numbers, and get the table also. We have done the even numbers, right? This one. So odd numbers you do it, that is not equal to 0, and print the table. Print the table. And okay. Okay, now if you have a for loop, guys, we are already having a for loop. This is an input sequence. Apart from this, I want to have one more for loop. Then that should come down to the right side. Okay, in the place of condition. Now, if you have one more condition, two conditions are there. Again, one more condition should come down over here. If, like, for example, if we are taking 1, 2, now let me keep it this one as it is. I will copy this. Now, suppose you want to find out a number which is divisible by 3 and which is an odd number, or which is divisible by 3 and 5, both. I don't want to use the AND operator. I want to use the number which is divisible by 3 and 5. So how I'll do it? Now I'm going to comment this one. See, first condition is this one. It should be divisible by 3. Okay, if it is divisible by 3, I'm doing the squaring of that. But I want one more also. What is that? It should be divisible by 5. So here I'm going to keep it. If I modulus 5 is equals to 0. Now, how it will work? First, it will be executed. Second, it will be executed. Now, whichever one is satisfying this condition, then that will be going to the next condition. Now, whatever is satisfying these conditions, that will come to the output over here. Clear, guys? Now, let's see this one. I will take it as 100. Can you say one number? Or 15 into 50? $225. Okay, you got it? 12. Clear, guys? Now, and using the for loop, the table is no need of keeping any condition over here. Use the for loop and just print it with a number. Take a number 5. 5 into I, you have to do it. That's it. Okay, 5 into I, you will be getting, I will be having the 1, 2, 3, 4. You will be getting the table. Only thing is that just print it in a tabular format. Okay, guys? Hope you can do this. Sure. Huh? ఎక్కడ ఇచ్చిన నేను స్పేస్ ఇదా ఈడ ట్రిమ్ వాడతావా డేటా మీద ఉపయోగిస్తావా దీని మీద ఎందుకు ఉపయోగిస్తావు వైట్ ట్రిమ్ అంటే ట్రిమ్ చేస్తుంది అది ట్రిమ్ ఈస్ క్యాన్ ట్రిమ్మింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్ వైట్ స్పేస్ అంటే వైట్ స్పేసే స్ట్రిప్ ఏమో వైట్ స్పేస్ తీస్తుంది నీకేం తీయన్నా వైట్ స్పేస్ తెలుసుకోవాలా ట్రిమ్ చేయాలా తెలుసుకోవాలని వైట్ స్పేస్ తెలుసుకో /s యూజ్ చేయి వచ్చేస్తుంది నీకు రెగ్యులర్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ తెలుసుగా తెలియదా? మరి అప్పుడు వచ్చినప్పుడు అడుగు చెప్తా. ట్రిమ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు అదే కటింగ్ ఉన్న దగ్గర ట్రిమ్ చేయంటే ఏం చేస్తా? గుండు గీక్తాడా? అవును, ట్రిమ్ కాదు, స్ట్రిప్ యూజ్ చేస్తే. ట్రిమ్ ఇస్ ఎ ప్రోసెస్. ట్రిమ్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఏ మెథడ్ ఆర్ ఏ ప్రోసెస్. నా లూప్ అంటే ఏంది? లూప్ ఎట్లా చేస్తావు? లూప్, నేను అడిగిన దానికి ఆన్సర్ చెప్పు. హౌ యుల్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ ద లూప్? వైల్ ఆర్ ఫర్ లూప్ యూజ్ చేస్తావు కదా. లూప్ అంటే లూప్ అవుతుంది అది. వైల్ ఆర్ ట్రిమ్ ఇస్ ఎ మెకానిజం. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్స్ ఎ మెకానిజం. Trimming and capping are the two mechanisms. Now trimming means you are cutting the data of whichever one. Now if you want to cut the white space, you want to cut the data, it depends upon you. Trim means cutting off, that is you are removing. Huh? Trim function Python lo strip function undi. Trim ante adi da pandas lo vastadi. It will not come in the this one. Huh? ఎందుకు అలానా? నువ్వు పాండాస్ చేయగలిగింది పైథాన్ లో చేస్తావా? దాని డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్, దీనిది డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. డేటా టైప్స్ ఎందుకు మారుతున్నాయి అంటే, నువ్వు ఇప్పుడు నంపై తీసుకుంటే, ఇప్పుడు పైథాన్ తీసుకుంటే ఇంట్ ఉంటుంది. నౌ వెన్ యూ గో టు ద నంపై, యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ ద int 8, int 16, int 30. That is a primitive data type. They didn't change themselves into your actual Python 3.x. Python 3.x is whole architecture is class and object architecture. But NumPy is still following the old architecture. Enduku ante they want the NumPy is specially designed for, it is an architecture which does the numerical calculations. Based on NumPy, the pandas is built. Based on NumPy architecture, the pandas and the TensorFlow is built. Now pandas will do a intense, very intense data manipulation, very intense data manipulation. Now if you take an integer, normal like object and the class integer, what you are going to do it in Python, that you can't use it with the pandas. It will take a lot of time to do the manipulations. To avoid this, they will stick to the basic. So when you compare the list with the NumPy, list is very slow. It will occupy more memory and very complex. But when you go with the NumPy, it is very easy, and it will occupy very less. 1/3 of the memory it will be occupying. Only 1/3, not even 1/3, 1/10 I think so. 1/10 of the memory what the list will occupy, the same memory will be occupied by the NumPy. And it is because it's occupied very less memory, it will very fast it is. And based on this mechanism, the pandas is built. So obviously the pandas will be very fast. Okay, that is the reason why it will be doing it. Which that. Now one of the most powerful tool what the used for data manipulation is pandas. And there is one more called as PySpark that is not so effective, but pandas is really very effective. Now మనం whatever the pre-processing of the data ఉంటుంది కదా, దాంట్లో pandas లో చేయొచ్చు. SGI అనే ఒక టీం పెట్టి, అంటే under these people they kept a SGI team, and SGI team was using the NumPy, and the one more guy built up the pandas. So pandas was very quickly built. NumPy took like 10 years. Pandas was built on very quickly, just because of it used the architecture of this one. Saujanya, I am facing some problem with them actually. I have to coordinate with them because I am uploading. They are saying that it is not uploaded, or there is a miscommunication is there. The link what is provided is wrong, or something is going on over there. So today I'm going to sit and rectify that one and upload it everything. Okay. అదే మీకు కొత్తది ఇచ్చి నాకు పాతది ఇచ్చి మరి నేను చేస్తాను, నేను అప్లోడ్ చేసేది నేను చేస్తాను, మీకు రాకపోతే how I will do it. If comprehension, yep. Starting లో if comprehension చేయొచ్చు, పెట్టొచ్చు. దీంట్లో రేపు ఇప్పుడు రేపు ఇఫ్ చెప్తాను ఇక్కడ, ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ అంటే ఇఫ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్ చెప్తారు రేపు చెప్పి మీకు యూ విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్. ఎస్, no, I can use it one more if also. You can use it. Now here I can use it like this. Inside this, if here I will say that 3, and here I will say that if I modulus 5 is equals to 0, then I will enter into the list. Very yeah, 2 ifs. That's what I'm saying it, right? I can write the same code over here for you like this. Can you see this? I will remove this. Okay, sorry, this one. Okay, now let me remove this part. Now you see here what I'm doing is whatever the value I'm getting it from here, first I'm dividing it. Now I will take it as 100, and whatever the value I'm getting it over here, this I'm going to divide it by 3, and if it is okay, then I'm going to divide it by 5. I will use a colon over here, and then I'm going to square that one over here, and this I'm going to append it. Now when I run this one, I'm going to get the same output. See this? Got it?